Stranger Things has come to an end with its 5th and final season, so let's rank all 5 seasons. Hello everybody, my name is Jesse and welcome to my channel. Stranger Things just ended with its 5th and final season, so today I'm going to give you my ranking of all 5 seasons of Stranger Things. Coming in last place for me is unfortunately season 5. I was really excited for the season. Stranger Things is one of my favorite shows, and so I was really excited to see how everything was going to wrap up and where all these characters were going to end up. And I loved the finale itself. I loved how everything wrapped up. I love where all these characters ended up. Overall, I was actually really happy with how they ended it and how the entire show came to a close. But when I'm looking at the season as a whole, I think this is this season where its parts are better than the entire thing and the whole. When it's great, it is some of the best stuff that we've ever seen in Stranger Things. There are some heart-wrenching character moments. There's some fantastic action. Vecna is as terrifying as ever. We get a lot of great backstory on Henry and how he got to be how he is and kind of how this whole thing started. We get some really interesting lore on the Upside Down, and that completely kind of changes the way that we think about it, and it adds a little bit of more depth to some of the earlier seasons, especially season 2, which I really loved. But when this season is at its worst, it can feel really frustrating and meandering and slow. It kind of felt like we were focusing too much on these brand new characters that I didn't care about, and we didn't get really enough of what I really wanted. And I wish we could have gotten a lot more Vecna in this season. We focused mainly on just Henry in his human form. There's some great Vecna moments, but I wish we could have gotten a lot more of that. I wish the season as a whole was a little bit longer, especially the episodes in Volume 2 leading up to the finale. I think at times it can feel just a little bit rushed. And so overall, there's a lot that I love about the season, but there's also a lot that I'm kind of frustrated with. In 4th place, season 2. Definitely a downgrade from the first season, but I still really enjoy this season a lot more than most people. I think introduction of a new species, the Demodogs, is really exciting. There's again a lot going deeper into the mythology of the Upside Down, and with Will now being sort of mysteriously connected, and the Mind Flayer, all of that is really cool, and the overall mystery of Will's connection and how it works, why him specifically, how it affects him in his personal life, all of that is really cool and really fascinating. I love the introduction of Max and Billy. They're both fantastic characters in for like the rest of the show. I don't think the bad parts of this season are nearly as bad as the bad parts of season 5, but there definitely are a few things in here that I'm not that I don't absolutely love. You know, Eleven's whole side quest with going to find her mom and also finding her sister, Callie, 8. That whole side quest episode with her and those characters has never been one of my favorites. So there's definitely some things in here that I don't super love, hence why it is lower on my list, but I still have a lot of fun with this season. In 3rd place, I have season 3. This season goes even deeper into the 80s fun of the show. There are some great references and homages to some fun 80s movies. The Russians kind of being the villains of this season is great. Robin is now one of my favorite characters in the entire show, and her introduction in this season is a lot of fun. Of course, you have Alexei, who is also such a lovable character right from the beginning, and you get to love him so much that by the end, his death is definitely a big gut punch. And again, the overall kind of mystery side to this season with how the Mind Flayer has kind of returned and he's sort of building this army. And so this season sort of becomes a big homage to kind of 80s monster movies, which is a lot of fun. The action is fantastic and the visual effects look better than ever. In second place, I have season 1. After getting used to the bigger scope from seasons like 3 to 5, it was a lot of fun to go back and rewatch this season when they didn't know if it was going to be a success. It was a much simpler story that just went heavy on the 80s references and nostalgia. It's a simple story about a missing boy, a mom who's grieving, and his group of friends that want nothing more than to just get him back. And this was, the mystery was kind of at its highest in this season when we didn't know anything about the Upside Down. We didn't know anything about Eleven and her character, and learning all of that throughout the season is fantastic. We get to love these characters so much by the end of this season. And it really could have been a one and done. Had this show not been a success, they could have ended it at season 1, and I think it would have been fantastic as just like a limited series. I think that's what's great about this first season is it didn't really need any of the others. It is a fantastic standalone story. And as I kind of said, I really love the 80s vibe of this season. It reminds me of many 80s adventure comedies like The Goonies and E.T. that I absolutely love, so I love seeing that. But coming in number 1 for me is season 4. You can tell by my t-shirt how much I absolutely loved this season. It is when the scope and scale was at its biggest. We have all of these characters doing their own side quests. Vecna is my favorite villain in the entire show, and he is terrifying. This season is more violent. It's more action-packed. The introduction of Eddie Munson is phenomenal. Joseph Quinn does such a fantastic job, and I'm really sad that he wasn't able to make it past this season and into season 5. I would have really loved to see more of him, but he is phenomenal in this season. The action is spectacular. The twists and turns and the backstories that we get in the season of Vecna being the one that was first sent to the Upside Down and the Abyss, and he was the one that found the Mind Flayer first, with him being the one that kind of started this whole thing in season 4 and 5. Season 4 is just by far when this show was at its absolute peak, and it was at its biggest and best. So there you have it. That is my ranking of all 5 seasons of Stranger Things. What is your ranking of these seasons? Let me know down in the comments below. And until my next video, like this one, subscribe to my channel, and keep watching movies and TV.